Jesus spent 40 days and 40 nights in a desert with nothing but the Spirit of God to fill him. The Buddha sat under a tree for a similar feat, 45 days, right? With nothing but his desire to know the truth of reality. These two men who went on to have the greatest ministry of all time, a ministry that changed history and the collective conscious forever, who went on to start philosophy, spiritual traditions that literally shaped the entire fucking world. These two men were granted everything, but only because they were first okay with nothing. And I think it'd be wise if we learned from these spiritual masters to follow their lead. See, last year, I was in a spot where I was okay with having nothing, right? I was just starting out my 101 days of daily uploads. Now on this channel, this is a new channel. I just started this channel up. This is actually going to be my first video on this new channel, Masters of Alchemy. So welcome. But over on my first channel, last year, from May 15th to August 24th, I uploaded every single day, 101 days straight. And I was just doing it because, you know, obviously I wanted the results. I wanted to get views. I wanted to get subs. I wanted to impact people. I wanted to get clients for my business. I wanted to do all those things. I wanted the results. I wanted the outcomes. But I was really doing it for the love of the fucking game. The love of the game. Which is making content, which is making videos, making newsletters, making audio podcasts, whatever it is, whatever I'm making stuff that helps people, where I get to channel my own stories, my own personality, my own energy, and I get to filter my thoughts and my paradigms through this, like, you know, this like funny guy who's like super cool and super hot. And that gets to reach people. And via that reaching people, it shifts their consciousness, it shifts their path, and that alters their trajectory towards the better, right? It's my mission to help as many people as possible live their most free and authentic lives. It's that simple. And so last year, when I was doing my 101 days of daily uploads, for like the first 3 weeks, I got no results. I was at 69 subscribers when I started. 69 subscribers. And I was just going, man. I was just uploading every single day because I didn't care. I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to share my message. I just wanted to do what I felt like God was putting on my heart. And so that's what I did. And yeah, I was barely getting any views. I was barely getting any, any results. But then, after that third week, things started to happen. I think on day 27, it was day 27, I got my first sale. My first ever coaching sale for $17. I was so fucking hyped. And then like 3 days later, I got another one. And then like a week later, I got another one. And I was like, holy shit. All for $17, by the way. I'd made $50 through the fucking internet, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And I was going like fucking crazy, right? I was like, I don't know what's happening. But this is cool. I want to keep doing it. By that time, I was kind of like, my first coaching offer, I was making a lot of videos on like creativity, spirituality, and it was really on like creativity blocks. That's actually what I ended up making my first ever course on, my Block to Boundless course. If you want to get access to that, you can come join us in Masters of Alchemy, our community. That's my program where I have all my courses and the community, as well as my coaching. So you want to come join that? That's the first thing in the description. Block to Boundless is in that. But I made that course because there were so many people who were like, I was getting this traction. I'd actually gotten this video that got like 1K views, I think. This was actually my first video that kind of like popped off a little bit. And it was called Your Creativity is Being Blocked at the Source. And this was the video that really started getting me some traction. And so I got a few sales for like this like purpose and creativity coaching offer while I was helping some artists with like unblocking their creativity, figuring out like, hey, why are you here? What is this life thing really about? What do you want to do with your creative energy? How do you want to take this? You know what I mean? Just helping people who were lost, who felt directionless, right? because that's what I was, and that's what I wanted to help people do. Now, after I got those 3 sales, I was like, yo, I might have something here. Maybe I should try to like I should like pivot my offer and do this like YouTube business coaching thing instead, right? Where I'm helping people get clients from YouTube for their coaching, right? Because I just did that 3 times. So I'm like, hey, maybe I know something, right? So I kid you not, I got 5 sales on that offer in like 9 days. Swear to God, like I think it was July 4th. Yeah, July 4th to July 13th. I swear to God, I made like $1,200 through my 5 sales. And that shit was like, now at this point in July, by the time I made that 9th sale, I think I had like 800 subs at this point, 800 subscribers. So I'd been popping off pretty quickly. I'd been like growing pretty quickly, talking about spirituality, talking about creativity, talking about like making money online, talking about basically like making money as a small YouTuber. That was kind of how I was positioning myself. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. That was where things started going downhill. Now, let me say this because this is a very big part. One of those clients that I sold, I ended up getting into like a business partnership with her. And then I ended up marrying her. And this was all in the span. Like we went from like friends kind of chopping up a bit to like, oh yeah, I want to join your program, to hey, like I came to her with the proposition like we should be biz partners. And after like a month, because she wasn't with it when I first came to her, she didn't really know me like that. So maybe I shouldn't have done that, just because it was like purely off energetics and like theoreticals that I was doing this. Right? She was a very feminine girl, and I thought like, oh yeah, this is gonna be sick. We're like build things together, right? We'll have that like complementary, that polarity. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fucking sick, right? Unfortunately, after I got with my ex-wife, it was a wrap for me, bro. And the biggest reason was that, like, since I got married, right, it wasn't legal, it was a spiritual union. Fuck the government. But since I got married, now I have this, like, pressure on me, this, like, oh shit, like, I gotta, like, step up and, like, perform for my wife. Like, I gotta, like, provide for her. I gotta, like, do things for her, right? Like, yeah, respectfully, bro. Like, that's a good paradigm. Unfortunately, I had just started learning how to actually do things for myself and show up for myself. And so I'm like, wait, hold up. I'm at like level 4 with this like showing up for myself shit. I just got to level 4 like 2 months ago, and I'm trying to be at like level 9 showing up for myself and a woman, and I'm trying to like talk about getting this girl pregnant. What are you talking about, Jaden? You're fucking wildin', bro. I was fucking wildin'. Right? I was trapped in this like, oh yeah, this like, I was in like spiritual woo-wah land, right? Everything's all good. I was in the non-duality trap, where I was in just like spiritual ideology land. It's like, oh man, it's all good. It's everything's love, baby. Everything's bliss. It's all chill. It's all good, baby. Not quite. Not quite, bro. Not quite. And because I got into that mentality, I kind of was just stuck, where I was just like, oh, well, everything's all good, so it's like, whatever. The fact that I'm depressed and that I feel like this relationship isn't really serving me and that I feel frozen and that I don't really know where to go, it probably doesn't matter that much, right? It's all love and light, baby, right? Right? So yeah, that was tough for me. And my ex-wife, she started noticing these things, right? And there was one time, I think this was like a week or 2 before we split up, she had said to me, she was just like, Jaden, like, I don't want you worrying about like making money for me or like doing any like, or feeling like you have to like perform. I don't want you doing any of this shit, because it's like, now you're not even you. You're not even you anymore. You know what I mean? Like the super hot and ambitious and like just carefree, detached guy who's just out here loving life, super confident, fucking balls hanging, fucking 10 feet from my fucking crotch. That's the guy who she was attracted to, right? She saw that guy, literally, like, she actually found me on YouTube. She saw that guy on YouTube, thought he was hot as fuck, and was like, oh, I want to get this guy, right? And she fucking did. Right? She saw that, and she was like, oh, I want that. I want to be a part of that, right? I stopped being that when I was with her. Why? Well, I was good. I already had the girl. And it was also too much, right? There were so many factors that were going into this, like, this point in my life. One was just like the complacency of like, oh, I already have the girl, so why am I working harder? You know what I mean? Two, it's like I was feeling very I had zero clarity in terms of business because there were so many things that I wanted to help people with and that I felt like I could. Mental health, spirituality, creativity, YouTube, business. There were so many things, but I didn't know like which direction to go to or how to put them together, because that's what I really wanted to do, put them together. I was just fucking clueless. And because I didn't know what to go with that direction, I didn't know what was happening with like my wife. I didn't want to get a job even though I thought I had to, and I felt like I should have because I wanted to provide for her. And that was like making me hate my existence. Like the thought of getting a job started making me dread my existence. Also, I was in a very interesting place with like my spirituality at the time, right? Like I said, I was in like mystical non-duality woo-wah land, right? The non-duality trap. Or I wasn't actually living on fucking Earth in real life. I was out there in the cosmos and shit, right? So many things, right? So many different factors. Eventually, I came back down to fucking Earth. And I was like, yeah, bro, I gotta get out of this relationship. It's taking too much of my energy. And because of that, I can't put it back into myself and the things that I need to make happen in order to get me back to where I want to be going. And my ex-wife noticed this, right? At the time, she'd actually it's so interesting. This is actually so crazy. The last day that we had spent together, she was like actually leaving that day to go to she was going to go to Colombia, right? She was going on a trip. And it was so interesting, bro. Like that day, I wanted to, I don't know, like something just energetically felt like this day matters a lot. You know what I mean? And I'd been wanting to touch on her and kiss her mom. I'm a very touchy guy, right? And my ex-wife, although she loved that, because I'm honestly, bro, when I'm with my girl, when I'm with a woman, bro, what do you mean I'm not touching on your body? Why else are you here? It's bro, what are you talking about? If I'm not gonna touch on you, what are you doing in my presence? The fuck? Yeah, we can talk or whatever. It's I don't give a fuck about that. I want to feel you. Fuck. You see what I'm saying? So it's that's the kind of nigga I am. That's how I roll, right? I like touching my girls. And so I was with her this day, right? And I'm touching on her. I'm kissing on her and shit. And she was kind of annoyed. And I was babe, stop. You know what I mean? And I'm just man, all right, you know what? Fuck you too then. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You don't want my kisses. I don't want you to have them then. All right, whatever. Right? And that day, when she had left, right? She was leaving my crib, and I was hugging her goodbye, kissing her goodbye, whatever. There was something there that just felt this is more than what it seems, right? This doesn't just seem like I'm saying goodbye to my wife, for her trip. It felt there was more, you know what I mean? After she had left, I actually, I didn't cry at first, but I actually started crying a little bit. And I was damn, bro, why am I crying so much? It's yeah, she's going. And it's yeah, I'm gonna miss her, but it's I get to lock in. But it was just because I think my soul understood what was really going on, bro. I swear to God, that was the last time I ever saw my ex-wife, bro. And when we were, she's there in Colombia, we're on the phone this day. And she just knows, right? Women always know. They're tapped into the field, right? Women are they understand these subtle cues and senses a lot more. These subtle shifts in energy. They can sense these things a lot better than we can. And so she hits me up, she calls me. And she's just she basically asked me kind of what's wrong, because she could tell. And I'm just all right, well, here it is. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't going to tell her this day, but I kid you not, it got to the point where I was just so fed up. The next day, I was definitely gonna tell her. So she asked me this night, and I was just all right, here's what it is. And so it was like, it was sad and it was hard for her a lot because, you know, like, my ex-wife was like a super like feminine girl who was like, who loved like marriage and like wanted to like be committed and stuff like that. Like she did not want to like not be together, you know what I mean? Like she didn't like that idea, but she also wasn't on some shit where it's like, I'm not gonna stay with you if I feel like I'm holding you back, you know what I mean? And man, I'm not gonna lie, I actually just I'm saying this now, there's this woman I've been dating recently, and I told her this a few days ago. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'd be kind of annoyed that I like you this much because I'd be thinking about you more than I'd like, and it's a little distracting, right? But it's not really a distraction because like she inspires me to work harder and she like gives me inspiration and like that you know, just that feminine inspiration, that feminine radiance. And if she didn't give me that, I promise you she would not be in my life, right? And I told her that, and she was like, well, if I was really distracting you, I would remove myself, right? And I was like, fuck, why did you say that? Now I like you more because of that. You're telling me you value my attention so much that you would remove yourself if you were distracting me from my purpose? Why do you value that so much? Right? So I've realized this over the last year. I'm like, damn, bro, over the last year, the women I've attracted are fucking cool, bro. Like, the women I've dated over the last year, they ain't nothing like the girls I dated when I was like 17, 18, 19, bro. All them girls was damaging the shit. All these girls are cool as fuck, bro. But anyways, I was like, damn, bro, this is fucking cool, bro. I actually have women who like genuinely value who I am. And if they're taking away from that and from like my calling that like God has put on me, they're gonna remove themselves because they know that like what I have to give to the world is so valuable. They refuse to be a distraction from that. I'm like, yo, that's fucking sick. Like, imagine the character of a woman to say that, bro. Like anyways. So I told you guys, you know, that story because in that time when I was with my ex-wife, bro, I was so attached. I was so attached to everything. I needed her. I needed her validation. I needed the money. I needed the likes. I needed the subscribers. I needed the views. I needed to make things happen. I needed everything. And because I needed everything, I had nothing. It's the hard truth, bro. It's the hard truth that when you need something, it often runs away, right? Like the girl that you're into. There have been plenty of girls, plenty of girls in my life where they sense, you know, like my previous neediness. Man, I used to be a needy son of a bitch. They sense that motherfucker was needy, and then they're like, ugh. And then they dip off. They go the other way. They go fuck the bad boy who isn't needy. It is what it is, bro. Like, that's the game. You know what I mean? Here's what I need you to understand, guys. If you need something, that means you don't already have it, right? Needing something shows lack. If you need something, this reflects, oh, I don't currently possess it. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't currently possess it, then you can't possess it. Like, oh shit, let me tell you this hard truth about the universe, bro. You can only have what you already have. Jesus says, those who possess something will receive more, and those who have nothing will be deprived of even the little they have. And so if you have something, right, you can receive more. If you have nothing, more will be taken away from you. This is why the rich get richer and most poor people don't. Because the rich focus on their abundance, on what they have, and so they attract more. Poor people focus on their lack and on their scarcity, and so they create more lack and more scarcity. See, here's the thing, guys. Abundance is actually the only way the universe works. And so it's either an abundance of having or an abundance of not having. But either way, it's always abundance. You're either abundant in abundance or you're abundant in scarcity. Which one do you want? and you basically add like pebbles to like the jar that you'd like, you know what I mean? You're basically like, if it's like a seesaw, you're adding like pebbles to the side that you want to, you know, tip in your favor. You do that through your attention by focusing on that one. And so there's two situations, like me last year, right, who was in this situation. There was the version of me who was constantly focused on, gotta get views, gotta make money, gotta provide for my wife. And then there's the version of me who's like, oh man, I love showing up for YouTube. I love giving my gift. I want to help people so that, you know, they give me things in return. You see how that's like a completely different mindset? I want to help people. I want to give my gift. I want to give. I want to give rather than I want to receive. When you're needy, you're saying, I need to receive. That's the problem. You're signaling that you don't already have, that you're not the source. And if you're not the source, things aren't going to happen for you, gang. You have to be the source of it. Think about it like with women. Women is always like the best example. Women don't want to be the source of your pleasure or the source of your like fulfillment. They can't, actually. Women can't be the source of your fulfillment. Now, they may be a source of your pleasure, right? But they will never be the source of your fulfillment. Only God can give you that. Only your mission can give you that. Only your purpose, only like giving your gift can give you that, right? Only me showing up to this fucking video and hitting record and yapping for the last 20 minutes is gonna give me this fulfillment of like feeling like I've given my gift, feeling like I'm not like some waste man. Only your purpose is gonna give you that. Like, a woman can't do it. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. But I'm not actually. Because the moment you stop looking to women to give you that fulfillment, the moment is like your relationships with women is gonna be like 100 times better. So I'm actually not sorry. Because I'm trying to tell you the truth so your life can be better, bro. Do you understand me? You need to have this mentality of like, oh, okay, like I can want the outcomes. Wanting things is awesome. Reality is wanting, it's desire. Desire is the building block of reality. You wouldn't do shit if you didn't want to. Like, let me give you this example. I think this will actually put it home. I think this will hit it home. God is infinite. Just stick with me for a second, okay? God has all power and all knowledge. Everything. God has literally everything. God cannot lack or need anything because God already has everything. You see what I'm saying? Okay, awesome. So if God can't need or lack, that means God's only state, the only reason that God would ever do anything is because God wants to. You see what I'm saying? If God doesn't need to do shit because God's already perfect, then the only reason God does anything is because of desire, allurement, want. God wants to. God wanted to create the universe, so God did it. It's that simple, right? You have to operate the exact same way. Now, obviously, you can't go around creating, a billion universes because you're not God. But you know what you can do? You can create one universe, your own. The Hermetists taught this. They said that the only difference between the infinite mind of God and the finite mind of man is the power. It's the degree. It's the degree in which they can manifest. See, the nature of the mind, it's the exact same. It's just that how they can operate, how they can actually, make change in reality, that's infinitely different. Because God has infinite power and we have finite power. God can create infinite realities with infinite potentialities. You still have the capability for infinite potentiality. But you don't have infinite realities for that. You have one. Your own. And so I need you to be the agent of your fucking reality. I need you to be the creator of your reality. I need you to not operate from this like, oh, I need this thing. Now you may need things like that's the reality of our 3D existence. We need things. That's okay. But I need you to understand that like most of the things that you feel like you need aren't actually needs. They're just desires. And if you keep treating these desires as things that you need, as things that if you don't have, you won't feel fulfilled, you won't ever feel fulfilled because you're never actually going to obtain them. Millionaires do this all the time. They think, oh yeah, I'm going to make $1 million, then I'll be good. They make $1 million, what happens? They're still fucking depressed. Why? Because it wasn't the fucking $1 million that was making the void in your fucking soul. It was the fact that a part of your soul isn't there. And it's the fact that your part of your soul isn't there, right? You've had these parts of yourself that you've been allowed to, been cast to the side, right? People have come in, they've seen these parts of yourself, you've expressed them to the world, and the world has told you, oh, no, you can't be this way, you gotta be this way instead. And so you listen to them. And by listening to them, you take these parts of yourself that are really you, that God literally made, and you're like, oh, no, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do what this person told me to do anyway, because I want them to like me. And because of that, because you're searching for this validation outside of you, you're never filled, you're never full. Because the only thing that is actually gonna give you what you're looking for is you. You're out here looking for things outside of yourself to fulfill this hole in you, but that hole in you is left by the fact that you aren't you. And if you were you, you would be okay with your life. I wasn't me 2 years ago. And so I wasn't okay with my life. I hated my existence. Me today, yeah, I still struggle. I still go through things. Life is always going to be real. Life's always going to be hard. Like, don't ever think I'm trying to tell you that, like, we're in mystical woo-wah land and shit is just magical and it's all love and light, baby. No. It is all love and light. And shit is also real. And life is hard. Fuck. Yeah, this rain is kind of a vibe. Anyways, I need you to get detached. Like, the reason that you're so, like, obsessed with all these outcomes is because you think the outcomes are actually going to give you the thing that you're looking for. That's not true. It's not. Now, outcomes are amazing because outcomes can give us feedback. And feedback can reflect things back to ourselves that we may not be perceiving or perceiving correctly. And that can be awesome. But if you think that the outcome itself is what's going to fulfill you, you're playing yourself. That's not true. It's not. And so you're always going to feel lacking because you don't have the thing that you want or the thing that you need in order to feel fulfilled. It's okay to want things, guys, right? Like with women. Like I told you guys, this girl I'm dating, right? I want her a lot. And if she's told me, yo, Jaden, I'm not interested anymore yesterday. I mean, if she hit me up today and she's like, yo, Jaden, I'm not interested anymore. I'd be like, ah, damn, that's whack. All right, fair enough. Like, yeah, it would kind of hurt. It would. Because I like her. But then it'd be like, okay, on to the next. Or, okay, shit, I got more attention for my mission now. I can lock back in. Let's fucking get it, baby. You see what I'm saying? Like, my mindset is never in lack. I only have abundant mindset, especially like with women. A woman leaving my life can only be good. Now I get my attention back for my mission. Now I get my attention back to go find women who are more aligned. That's fucking sick. You guys can't be focused on the money. You can't be focused on a woman's love or a woman's intimacy or her sex. You can't be focused on views. Because if you need those things, it shows that you don't have them. And if you don't have them, you'll never be the guy who people come to because you're the source. People want to come to the source. They don't want to be the source. A woman doesn't want to be your source of pleasure. She wants you to be her source of pleasure. A woman doesn't want to be your escape from reality. She wants to be, no. A woman doesn't want, yeah. A woman doesn't want to be your escape from reality. She wants you to be her escape from reality. You see what I'm saying? She doesn't want to have a world that you come into. She wants you to have a world that she comes into. You see what I'm saying? You need to be the guy who needs nothing from the world because you already have everything from God and from yourself. And when you are that person, when you're okay with having nothing because you already have everything in here, that's when people will come. People gravitate towards the guy who doesn't care, who doesn't need them, who is like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Well, whatever. The nonchalant guy who still has fun, who still is like super cool, who's super engaging, who's social, who loves talking to people, but can shrug his shoulders and be like, whatever. That's the most attractive guy. The guy who wants and who has ambition and who's going like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking get this. But who isn't tripping about like when it's coming, or about like that the results haven't come yet, or about like this thing is like, going on and now I'm struggling. You need to remain indifferent, guys. This is like the biggest lesson I can give you here. Masculine indifference it's not about not giving a fuck or not giving any fucks at all about anything, right? It's not about being this like heartless, like stoic guy who is like unfazed, right? Now, granted, you should be unfazed, but being unfazed doesn't mean that you don't feel, right? Being stoic doesn't mean that you don't feel. Being indifferent doesn't mean you don't feel emotion. It means you don't allow emotion to rule you. Instead of your emotions being the agent over you, being the ruler of you, you are the agent of your emotions. You rule them. You feel things, but you don't allow those feelings to change your perceptions of yourself or of your mission. You believe things or you see things in reality, but you don't allow these limited beliefs to hold you back. You don't allow the outcomes or what this 3D plane is showing you to affect you or to change your internal state. Your internal state must be constant, still, unwavering. The more like in flux you are internally, the worse off you'll be. You need to be able to remain like this chill guy as much as you can, right? you need to look at life and just shrug your shoulders. Be like, fuck it. And just laugh it off, bro. Honestly, bro. The more you can shrug your shoulders and laugh it off, the better life is gonna be. I promise, bro. I promise. And the way you truly get to this is, yes, by building. It's through your mission, through your purpose. That's very important. But it starts here, bro. It starts here. With the mindset that I can only have everything if I'm first okay with having nothing. That's the only way, right? Remember, our spiritual masters in the beginning, Jesus and Buddha. Jesus went off to literally have a world-changing ministry. Become literally like the most influential person to ever walk the fucking earth. Because he was okay with having nothing. For 40 days. The Buddha did an extremely similar feat, right? These men showed us that you can have everything in the world if you're willing to have nothing in the world. When the world can't impress you, when you're not impressed by anything in the world, when you're like, yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, it's nice. Oh yeah, that'd be cool to have. But you don't need it, you can shrug your shoulders and laugh it off. That's when the world starts chasing you. When there's a hot girl, right? Let's say like there's a hot girl in the gym, right? And, you're talking to her a bit. Actually, you know what? This is such a good example. There was this girl I was dating back in March or April, right? Like a few months ago, whatever. When I was working at Planet Fitness. And I'd seen her like occasionally. I'd seen her like here and there. And I'd like see her and I'd smile, right? And we'd have like a couple interactions. But I hadn't like talked to her yet, right? And this day I talked to her, right? I kid you not, she's about to leave the gym. I'm at the front desk. I stop her. I'm saying, hey, excuse me, come here for a second, right? I signal over to her to come here, right? Guys, by the way, signaling, like, telling women to, like, do things, to, like, kind of, like, commanding them to move their bodies, like, get closer to your space. This is a great sign of, like, her interest, right? Like, I'll give you this example. One time I was on the Stairmaster, right? I was literally, like, on the Stairmaster. I had 2 minutes left, and I didn't want to hop off. There was this girl who was on the Stairmaster who was, like, 2 Stairmasters over, right? She just got off, and she was about to dip. But I was trying to spit at her, right? And so I'm like, fuck, but I'm not trying to, I gotta finish these last 2 minutes on my Stairmaster, right? And so I turned back, right? She's like, at the station, like, getting like the paper towel and like the cleaner, like, to wipe her shit off. I turned back and I signaled her, I told her to come here, right? To come up on the Stairmaster next to me. And she literally comes, walks over, and gets onto the Stairmaster next to me, spit at her, got her number real quick, you feel me? So that was another example. If a woman is actually interested in you, or even if she's not even interested in you, the balls that are displayed by saying like, hey, come here, or by signaling that, like that shows that like you're a masculine guy, you're willing to lead, you actually have some fucking confidence. Even if she doesn't know you, or even if she isn't interested in you, that might trigger some interest in her. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, with this other example of the girl I was dating before, right? I had told her to come over to the desk, right? I kid you not, she comes up. I start talking to her, and I can just immediately sense she was into me, right? She wanted me to talk to her, and I like, you know, I talked to her or whatever. I think like a few days later, I told her, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd actually wanted to spit at you last week, but I didn't. And then I went on a trip to Florida to go visit my mom, so I was kind of sticking. And she was like, oh, you should have talked to me last week then, right? She was already into me, bro. You see what I'm saying? But we'd had those few interactions, and I was like, I didn't actually give a fuck about like talking to her. It was like, yeah, whatever. I'd had this mentality like so much in the gym. There'd be tons of girls I'd talk to. I'd just go up to them and tell them like, hey, you look very beautiful today. And that was it. I didn't ask them their name. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I just walked away. All I cared about was like extending that compliment to them. I literally just wanted to tell her she looked beautiful because she did. I just like telling women they look beautiful. I just like it, right? I enjoy admiring God's word. You see what I'm saying? And then letting them know that. So that's something I do, right? But I didn't care about like them, you know, validating me or whatever. I didn't give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? When you can just give and not need anything in return, when you can want things but not be attached to the outcome, that's the state you need to operate from, guys. You can want things. I want a lot of things. I want women. I want views. I want subscribers. I want to make a fuck ton of money. I want to be rich and powerful and impact a lot of people. I want all those things. And I'm cool with not having them. Because right now, I feel fucking great. I've been sitting here yapping for the last 35 minutes. I don't know if this video is kind of fucked up because it's been raining for the last 10. Maybe the audio is kind of jacked because of that. Fuck it, charge it to the game, baby. I don't give a fuck. I'm here giving my fucking gift. And so I'm turned. That's all that matters, bro. You need to have this thing where you show up every day and you give yourself to that thing. You give yourself to your mission, your self-mastery, your purpose. You give yourself to God. And when you have that thing, what the world gives you doesn't matter because you've already given of yourself and you've received that fulfillment for that. Purpose bears the fruit of fulfillment. That's from Pastor Darius Daniels. I love that quote. Purpose bears the fruit of fulfillment. And so, if you live a purposeful life, you will be fulfilled. Simple. It's that simple. If you live a life where you're moving towards a meaningful goal that you feel like is something that you actually like is on your heart and you're doing things you love, right? Like I'm working towards a meaningful goal of like making $2K a month online so I can go move to Bali, right? That's a goal of mine right now. But I'm not interested in making $2K online by being a fucking salesman for some fucking e-com brand or some shit. I don't fucking know, right? I wouldn't give a fuck about that because even though the goal is awesome, what I'm doing to get to that goal makes me depressed and want to kill myself. You see what I'm saying? And so, yes, your output, the goal is important, but the inputs you do to get there are more important. Let me ask you this. Would you rather take let's say you had to take a week-long road trip, like an entire week, a road trip. Would you rather do that trip in a like beat up car that's got like 500K miles and you got to get gas every fucking like, I don't know, like you got to stop to get gas every like 3 hours because it holds gas so poorly? Do you want that where you feel like you can barely go, you're barely making progress, there's always some bullshit, it sucks, the experience isn't even enjoyable, right? Or would you rather go in a car that's just like, you know, it's good and you actually like driving it? Would you rather go in the car that is like, you don't actually care about it, it kind of sucks? Actually, you know what? How about I give you this example? Would you rather ride in a Ferrari, like literally a fucking Ferrari, but the Ferrari is always breaking down, it always needs a fuck ton of gas, and you can only bring one other person with you? Or would you rather have like a fucking Honda Civic, right? But, you know, it needs way less gas, like the gas is less expensive, it actually doesn't break down on you, it's all reliable, it's gonna get you where you need to go, and you can bring the fucking gang. The gang can pop out on the road trip. Would you rather have the more expensive one, that is actually a less enjoyable experience simply because it fucking looks cooler, I guess, whatever? Or would you rather have the one that's like, it doesn't look as cool, but it's gonna get me there in a better way, and I'm actually gonna enjoy life, and the fucking gang is mobbing with me, let's fucking get it? Come on, bro, what are we talking about? Of course you'd rather have the fucking Civic, right? This is like choosing the business model that you actually love, even though it's gonna take longer to make you pop off, right? Like, yeah, I could be putting my time into doing fucking like marketing agency shit. I don't give a fuck about marketing agencies. I don't care. I don't care. But you know what I do care about? Yapping into a fucking camera and slapping the fuck out of some people so they can change their lives. And then them come joining my programs and then pay me. So I can help them do that more. Now that sounds fucking sick, bro. I want to do that all day. Which is why I'm here recording for 40 fucking minutes. I like this vehicle, so I'm going to use this vehicle to get where I want to go. And so it's not just about detaching from the outcome, guys. It's not just about having an outcome you actually want, right? Not going to college and selling your soul to the programmers for 40 years just because your parents want you to. But saying, fuck that shit, I'm going to go be an artist because this is who I am. Not just the output, not just the goal or the outcome, but the thing that you're doing itself. Because at the end of the day, like, outcomes are great. But then once you have them, like, there's always something next, right? That's it. Like, that's how goals work. You get something and then there's something else. You get something, then there's something next, right? And yeah, you can see that as like the treadmill of like, I was watching one of Humsa's videos this morning. And somebody, like, he talked about this example of like, oh, when you, like, always be more ambitious, right? It's like, yeah, you made $1 million, shoot for 10, shoot for 100. And right, I was saying earlier of like, that can be a trap. That's only a trap if you think the money is going to fulfill you. It's not. The money is merely a goal so that the vehicle that you choose to get to that money fulfills you. The vehicle you choose to get to that money, like for me, making these videos, making my newsletters, helping people, giving people advice, talking to people, coaching, mentorship, courses, community, my program, right? All that stuff. This vehicle actually makes me feel good. This gives me the fulfillment. This grows me. This makes me a better man. This gives me fulfillment. You see what I'm saying? And so having this goal, like for me, of making $2,000 per month online so I can move to Bali, yeah, it's like a materialistic goal. But that goal is just like, it's like the light post that allows you to actually focus on steering the ship. And it's like steering the ship is actually the fun part. You see what I'm saying? But if you're going to a light post that you don't want to actually go to, it's like, well, why am I steering the ship? This is fucking stupid. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be driving a ship if you're going somewhere you don't want to go. But then it's like, okay, well, if you are going somewhere you want to go, worrying about the destination, like, that doesn't matter. Driving the car is the entire fucking experience, right? Your life quality is about driving the car, not getting to the destination. And so if you want your life to feel better, stop worrying about the fucking destination and start worrying about the experience of driving the fucking car, which is doing the things that you actually want to do. Like writing, like speaking, like your art, like fitness, like your spiritual practice, whatever that is for you, right? Whatever God has put on your heart that's like, yo, I want to put this into the world. I want to give my gift. You got to give it, bro. You got to stop bullshitting. Because only by doing that, only by giving that, and by having the mentality that I'm going to have nothing for a while, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. That's the only way you're actually going to get to this place of genuinely feeling fulfilled internally, and from that internal fulfillment, having everything internally, but nothing externally, is how you can then show reality that you possess everything already, and then it will give those things to you. This has been good. I'm going to shut up now. If you enjoyed our first video here on Masters of Alchemy, I'd appreciate if you drop a sub, join our movement. And if you really like these teachings, you want to take this to the next level, join our program, Masters of Alchemy, over on School, where you can get our courses, and you can also get a 30-minute consult with me, where I help you basically observe like your current blocks, your current constraints, and help you identify practice, action steps, shift your limited beliefs, anything like that. So when you join the program, you get a 30-minute consult with me, and then you also get access to the community, to the courses, the entire program. So if you want to take your journey to the next level, come join us in there, all right? Besides that, if you don't know anything about me, which you probably don't because this is my first video on this channel, my name is Jaden. I'm a mystic, I'm a philosopher, I'm a polymath, I'm a healer. It's my mission to help as many people as possible, as many artists as possible, live their most free and authentic lives by helping them understand who they truly are and helping them express who they truly are. Which is why I'm so passionate about bridging the worlds of art, philosophy, mysticism, intersexual dynamics. And yeah, that's why I do everything I do here on YouTube and over on Substack as well. So like I said, if that mission resonates with you, I'd appreciate if you join us. Do it today, be better for it tomorrow, stay devoted, stay inspired.